Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to League of Legends Help Desk. In the last video, I have something I may have messed up. Maybe a little bit. So in the last video, we were talking about League of Legends slang, and I got the order of the towers wrong. I know, unforgivable sin. I should delete my channel right now, but I'm gonna do something audacious and not delete my channel. Anyway, last video, I got the order of the towers wrong. So it's actually the ones that are closest to the middle of the map. Those are your T1 towers. And then the ones that are towards the edge, towards your base, those are actually your T3s. So I got that mixed up. Other than that though, it's a good video. So if you want to go watch it and learn about some League of Legends slang terms, feel free to do that. We aren't here to continue that discussion though. So right now we're actually going to be talking about damage. Why do I not do damage? We're going to be answering that question. There's 4 potential reasons for why you don't do damage. The first, you didn't buy items. I wasn't gonna include this one, but I was playing with a friend, and the friend was complaining because they couldn't fight anyone, and I thought it was just because they were new, because like I just introduced them to League that day, so I thought they were getting stomped because they were a new player and had no idea what was going on. So I didn't think too much of it. And then at the end of the game, I realized they actually went the entire game without buying a single item. And ooh boy, I felt so bad because I could have just pressed tab and been like, oh hey, maybe you should buy items. But yeah, I did not do that, and he had a fun time. So buy items. If you're wondering how to do that, there's the shop. It's right where you spawn in. You can just click on that little guy right there. Look, the arrow is blinking. You can click on him and buy items from him, or you press P for purchase on your keyboard. You do that, and it pulls up the shop, and you can buy stuff. Of course, if you're gonna buy items, you need gold, and in order to get gold, you have to make sure you're last hitting your minions properly. So don't go running all over the map trying to fight people. Farm your lane. You can leave your lane if your wave is pushed into the enemy tower or if it's not pushing towards you. But if your wave is like on your half of the map and is pushing towards you, you gotta be there to farm or you're gonna get behind. But yeah, of course there's exceptions. That's the general rule. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time, you get me? So next, you bought the wrong items. And this is what I really wanted to make the video about, because this is one of the bigger issues with why people feel like they don't deal damage. And that's both if you're just starting off or if you're trying to climb out of like silver or gold or something like that. Itemizing correctly is important. So Lord Dominic's regards. 30 attack damage, that's pretty good. 35% armor penetration, that's stupidly good. And the best part, you deal up to 15% bonus physical damage against champions with greater max health than you. So that's a really great item, right? Unless you're playing Fizz and you scale with magic damage and you do magic damage, then it's not as good of an item. And here's why. Those blue numbers there, attack damage don't mean jack for them blue numbers there. And they don't recognize attack damage, they recognize ability power. So if you're building attack damage on a champion that scales with ability power, you ain't gonna do damage, man. Because you're not doing the damage from that on your abilities. It just makes your auto attacks hurt a little bit more. You're not doing the armor penetration there because you do magic damage. Armor penetration is for physical damage. You need magic pen for magic damage. And then, to top it off, you're not really even getting the bonus from the unique passive of the item because 15% of nothing is still nothing. So yeah, it's important to look at your champion, figure out what they scale with, and determine what to buy on them. I strongly recommend first timing champions in the practice tool, because there you get a feel for what their skills do. You can read the exact scalings of their abilities, and it's a lot less annoying and stressful than being stuck in a 15 to hour long game with a champion that you've never played before, trying to figure out how to make them work and what to buy on them. So I strongly recommend try them in practice tools first or versus bots, and watch YouTube videos about the champions that you want to play, because ooh boy, are there so many good tips on YouTube for all of the champions, and they'll tell you what to build as well, why the items are good, stuff like that. So yeah, that's a great place to start, just YouTube and trying them in the practice tool. But yeah, little tangent there. If you do decide to first time a champion, or if you're just still learning about what you want to build on them, maybe you don't want the spoilers from YouTube and you want to have a fun journey of discovery, you can go ahead and go to the recommended items when you go in the shop, and it'll pull up tabs like this where you have like, well, it'll be three of them. You have different item recommendations, and it'll tell you if the item is generally good, as listed here, or if it's really good against one particular person on the enemy team, if it's really good against like 2 or 3 of them. So that's a great place to go if you're unsure of what to build on your character. It also has commonly built stuff at the bottom. I don't know if it starts you off on recommended, because it's been a minute. But if it doesn't start you off on recommended, it'll be a tab towards the top that you can click on. It'll take you to recommended. So that's good. Anyway, back to Lord Dominik's Regards. It is a great item if built on the correct champion. So take for example Zed. He's an assassin. He does physical damage. He scales with the attack damage. Armor penetration is very valuable on him because he likes to kill guys and one rotation of his skills. So like one face roll across the keyboard, basically, is how he likes to kill people. So it's a good item on Zed, especially if he's into really big guys like Sion, they're the big guy with the axe, or Darius, the second big guy with the axe. It's really good into champions like them because they build a lot of health. So you can fully get the bonus from his passive on that item. Here's where itemization is still something you want to pay attention to though. Yeah, see, so that's good. Hooray! Here's where it's a problem though. Let's say Zed decides he's having trouble dueling Darius, which he's not supposed to. He's an assassin. But let's say he wants to duel Darius. So he decides to buy Warmog's armor. You see that blue number there? Right at the top, the blue number, 800 health. Can you think why that might be a problem? Alright, so we have the 800 health bonus from Warmog's armor, right? And then we go over to the unique passive for Lord Dominik's Regards. Deals 15% bonus damage against champions with a greater max health than you. And the damage is increased, reaches maximum damage when the health difference is greater than 2000. So he just made that health difference less by building more health, which lessened the damage that his Lord Doms does. So this is why you really gotta pay attention to your items. Most people who have been playing a while wouldn't make that mistake because they've been playing for a while. But if you're still unfamiliar with the items or you're trying a new champion, it's stuff like this that you want to pay attention to, and you really want to read those item descriptions. That way you don't unintentionally shoot yourself in the foot, because that is not a good time. But yeah. See, I even circled it for you. Ain't that helpful? Alright, another reason why you might be doing no damage is you're behind. So what do I mean by that? You're behind on gold, you're behind on kills, you're behind on items. Just being behind in general could be a reason why you're not doing damage. This chaotic, nightmarish heck of a game was taken from our boy Zwag Zareth, if you want to check him out on YouTube. He was doing a game where he built Poppy. So that's the level 16 on the side where not everyone's dead. Right below the guy on the top, the second one. That's Swag right there. As you can see, he has 22 kills, 2 deaths, 5 assists, and he is building Poppy incredibly wrong. This works occasionally. It is not a great build. I would not recommend it. It works for him. The only reason that I'm showing you this is because I want to highlight why you might not be able to 1v1 someone. So let's say you're Nasus, the guy where on the side where everyone's dead, all the way at the top. He's level 13. Poppy's level 16. He has 2 items and boots, and Poppy has 4 items and boots. If Nasus were to fight Poppy, who do you think would win? Mm-hmm. Poppy. She is just too far ahead. There's no way he's gonna do any damage to that chick. So yeah, that's a reason why you would not win against someone if you fought them, or why you wouldn't do enough damage. Even with Miss Fortune, like the only live member on their team in that photo, if you go all the way down, fourth one, even Miss Fortune could not win a fight against Poppy because she's behind on CS, her creep score. She's down on levels. Poppy like has 4 levels on her, and she only has 1 full built item and boots. Poppy has 4 in boots. So yeah, just before you fight anyone at all, just press tab and then go ahead and look at who you're trying to fight. Look at their creep score, look at their level, look at what they have built, and then from there you can judge whether or not you'll be able to take them. Because there's a lot of times, there's so many times, someone will walk up and they'll start fighting someone and they'll die and they'll be like, what? In what world do they win? They'll press tab and they'll see the items after and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that champion was fed. Oops. So like just save yourself the hassle and press tab first. Take a look at their items. If you can beat them, then do it. If you're unsure, don't bother. Just try and get someone to come help you. When you get more familiar with your champion, you might be able to, but until that point, don't take fair fights. Only take fights that you know you can win. This is the way. Alright, and last reason why you might be doing no damage is it's your champion. Alright, so some champions, their goal isn't really to do damage. Like a Yuumi support. She doesn't want to do damage. She wants to keep her teammate alive. So like, she'll fly over to them, sit on them, and then she'll just keep pressing one button to heal them over and over. Occasionally she pokes at them with this missile ability, her Q, and she can root people with her ultimate. But yeah, for the most part, she's just trying to heal the champion that she's attached to. Not always the case. I do know someone that likes to go Night Harvester, Dark Harvest Yuumi and turns her into a Russian sniper. But even then, she's not going to win 1v1s with most champions or like be able to fight anyone. It's more of just the occasional burst of poke damage. So yeah, if your champion's not designed to do damage, that's probably why they're not doing damage. Yuumi's played as support. She doesn't usually do damage. Kalista ADC. If you're a Kalista main, I'm so sorry. Riot screwed you over so hard for absolutely no reason. Some champions have just been nerfed into the ground, like Kalista. No one really plays her because Riot decided. Riot's the guys that invented League or created League, own League. That's the most accurate way of putting it. Riot occasionally changes some of the stats for champions. So like they'll reduce some champions' damage on one ability or on their auto attacks. They'll increase another champion's base movement speed, things like that. Sometimes a champion is just really old and Riot just nerfs them into the ground and makes them unplayable. If you want an example of that, Aurelion Sol. No one plays Aurelion Sol because he got nerfed into the ground. It's really sad, but such is life. So if you want to know if your champion got nerfed into the ground and no one played him, you can go on YouTube and look up guides for your champion. You can, there's a website called League of Graphs, has all sorts of League of Legends statistics, so you can see which champions are getting played a lot, where they're getting played, what sort of items are usually getting built on them. So League of Graphs, great website to go to if you want to see which champion you should play. But yeah, it's either, if you're not doing damage, you either forgot to buy items, you bought the wrong items, you're behind, or you're just on a champion that isn't meant to do damage. And it's okay to not be doing damage if you're playing like a tanky champion, because your goal then is to take damage. or if you're playing a healing support, your goal is to heal everyone else. So damage isn't necessarily the main thing you want to glorify in League of Legends. But if you're supposed to do damage and you're not doing damage, that's 4 things you can look at right there. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you learned quite a lot. You can now go and do some damage. I believe in you. Build the right items, go to League of Graphs, look up your champion on YouTube, learn as much as you can. League is mostly a game of RNG or luck, if I'm going to be real with you. It's mostly luck. However, there are things you can do to increase your odds of winning, and knowing more is one of those things that you can do. So go know more, go do more damage.